The following is the the journey of, design of, and most importantly, the experience of, perhaps, at least in this guy's opinion, James Cameron's magnum opus of movie experiences. Not merely an Easter egg-filled ride based on a movie IP, but a short film considered by some, and rightfully so, as the most authentic follow-up and true sequel to Terminator 2 in the entire franchise. This, my friends, is the story of T2-3D Battle Across Time.
We are back again with the Terminator.
The story truly begins on July 3rd of 1991, the release date of what many consider the greatest action movie of all time, Terminator 2. The movie was obviously a juggernaut smash hit, critically and commercially, making over $500 million at the box office and becoming the third highest grossing film of all time at the time. And that's not including toys, games, and other merchandise. The world was enamored with Skynet, Arnold, the T-1000, and everything in between. So in the early 90s, Universal Destinations and Experiences chairman and CEO Jay Stein wanted to turn that success into an attraction. Battle Across Time crossed their minds during a glorious time for the park. After adding the unforgettable experiences like Jaws Lake in '76, the early 90s saw additions of standalone movie rides such as E.T. Adventure and Back to the Future The Ride, both huge hits that would have a lasting effect on any generation lucky enough to experience them. For the development of his Terminator 2 experience, Stein looked to Landmark Entertainment Group. It had been the same team who had built the legendary Confrontation ride. And real quick, the spectacle featured tourists riding an open-air tram vehicle and encountering two separate 39-foot tall Kong animatronics. And wait for it, it also had banana-scented breath. Trust me, it was awesome. Bringing Terminator to life with a live-action stunt show fueled with pyrotechnics and cutting-edge technology seemed like a no-brainer. But if you've seen any of our WTF Happen To videos on the Terminator franchise, you know that nothing comes easy when it comes to the rights of the franchise. Stein had to first seek permission from Universal Creative, and then, after an entire year of developing the project, James Cameron himself, who initially scoffed at the idea of the Terminator becoming a theme park ride.
What the fuck is this?
It was up to them to change his mind. Thankfully, after seeing the storyboards and hearing the pitch, he was in. Listen, I'm just gonna say it. Whoever made that pitch had brass balls. I mean, imagine James Cameron smoking a stogie and staring at you from across the other side of a comically oversized desk, knowing he already had strong feelings against what you were about to try and sell him.
Brass balls.
The crew then headed to an airplane hangar at the Van Nuys Airport in the San Fernando Valley. They took exact measurements of the stage they would be using at Universal Studios and built their set. This would feature 3 23 by 50 foot screens and 6 iWorks projectors for the 3D. The film shown during the ride and performance would be filmed in an abandoned mine in California. The runtime for the movie portion was 12 minutes, with a massive budget of $24 million. Listen, I'm not Ben Affleck and the accountant here, but at that price per minute rate, T2 would have cost $274 million to make. Adjusted for inflation, that number would be $661 million today. And to be honest, you can see every bit of that $24 million on screen during those 12 minutes. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and Edward Furlong all reprised their roles and gave the audience something the franchise hasn't managed to do in the litany of sequels since.
Goddamn right.
The experience of T2-3D begins as you enter the building meant to replicate Cyberdyne systems. Just briefly before Skynet goes live. Complete with titanium-looking overhang that reads Cyberdyne Systems, the building just feels like a blockbuster movie set, with as many over-the-top Demolition Man vibes as Terminator ones. Everything is grandiose and larger than life. Even the hallways look state-of-the-art and futuristic. The queue, where you waited for the ride to open, featured tons of TV screens, playing Skynet propaganda, short video clips, and a CCTV feed of you, the audience. Tiny details, such as the words, "We are the future," imprinted above the doors leading to the lobby, or the main auditorium being adorned by the Miles Bennett Dyson Memorial Auditorium. It's great. Even the waiting room was taken to the next level. The production was dead set on pretending this entire thing was real all the way through the exit into the gift shop. So much so that the desk where you pick up your 3D glasses is called the Safety Visor Center. The glasses spoken of course, were a protection device for the Cyberdyne visitor tour about to take place. Eventually, the over-the-top Cyberdyne Director of Product Development actress greets the audience, welcoming them to the Cyberdyne Expo. A promotional reel then shows off the company's latest tech, including the arms of a metal exoskeleton tucking a child into bed, which gives really heavy spaceship Earth vibes. The reel highlights the subtle ways in which techno-propaganda can lead to some questionable technologies being accepted by the masses in the name of innovation. Finally, Skynet is pitched as the most powerful thinking machine ever, meant to protect us as a fully controlled defense system, targeting the bad guys before they can target you. Skynet will have the ability to look in any window or room and take control of any military weapon in the world, including nuclear weapons. Finally, the signal is interrupted and we're treated to Sarah and John Connor in full tactical gear, hacking the feed and warning us that Skynet is about to end the world as we know it. Crazy Sarah starts ranting about how the Skynet executives should be taken out and barbecued before John tells her to, chill out.
They should all be taken out and barbecued, Mom.
He then deadpans that we have 5 minutes to get out of the building before the Resistance takes Cyberdyne and the building down. Cyberdyne reclaims control of the feed and takes us back to their promo, which, in a dark and hilarious way, ends with children playing in the park, which, all too coincidentally, resembles the park we watch the children be incinerated at in Terminator 2. Folks are then ushered into the auditorium, where they can take their seats equipped with a drop seat technology Universal would end up patenting. The expo begins and we're introduced to live-action Terminators that don't look like the T-800s or anything we've seen in the movies. Dubbed the T-70s, these are the first Terminator models that resemble the human form. The 8-foot-tall robots put on an ammunition demonstration. The host suddenly lets out a blood-curdling scream as the actors portraying Sarah and John drop from the ceiling on ropes, firing their weapons into the air. Now listen, it's a little hokey as we see the actual Linda Hamilton and Edward Furlong on the giant screens performing and saying their lines, while the live-action actors try, without much success, to time their lip syncing up, but who cares? The actress playing Sarah is firing off her weapon live. There's a genuine feel of panic and fun that sets in. Suddenly the T-1000 shows up and those 3D safety visors get to do some heavy lifting. As his shape shifts into a long, frightening metal head that careens through the audience looking for John. It's hard to see on this video, but you had to be there. This was great. We are in full holy shit mode now, as he chokeslams the Cyberdyne Lady Undertaker style. Arnold finally shows up, rolling in on a motorcycle and looking badass. The live action actor's size, head shape, and outfit are believable enough, especially while seeing the actual Schwarzenegger speaking and acting out on screen. It's a bona fide, fun, surreal moment. And the Terminator drops a few classic lines, throws John in the back of the motorcycle, and drives right through the screen. We are now fully in 3D movie mode, and the future war is all around us. The film was projected on 70mm film using 2 camera setups weighing 450 pounds. The sound was state-of-the-art with 156 speakers and 24 subwoofers that Cameron said made it the greatest sounding show in the world. For the next 12 minutes, we're treated to John and the T-800 surviving a wasteland full of dangerous encounters. Listen, I'm sorry, Salvation, but this is the future war we always wanted.
You don't like it? Leave.
Now, they first have to dispatch the flailing T-1000 in a chase scene that resembles the greatness of Terminator 2 before the short film gives us something the franchise never would again, actually getting to see T2 Arnold on a motorcycle wearing a leather jacket and sunglasses fighting in the future war.
John, please stop helping.
Now, this wasteland has all the sights and sounds one would expect of Cameron at his peak, while the characters attempt to infiltrate and destroy Skynet's central core. After the pair survives the T-1000 and a handful of drones called mini-hunters, Arnold faces off with a Terminator endoskeleton, whom he hilariously calls,
He was my college roommate.
Again, you had to be there, this was great. The two penetrate Skynet and are now back in the auditorium with us. It's a truly amazing experience to feel like you're inside of not just any Terminator movie, but a mix of the future war scenes from the first film, alongside the high-tech awesomeness of T2. As they try to destroy the Skynet generator, we're introduced to the T-1000. Basically a huge spider version of the T-1000's metallic form. It's gigantic, haunting, and in 3D. T2-3D. The T-800 sends John to a time machine, once again sacrificing himself to save John Connor and the world. When the T-800 successfully blows up Skynet, sprinklers rain down water on the audience, faux smoke blows in the auditorium, and the seats suddenly drop as the building shakes around you. Simply put, it's f***ing awesome.
That's the spirit. Thank you.
And story-wise, I mean, if you want, it kind of bookends the Cameron trilogy. Much cleaner than ever having to spell Genesis with a Y.
Bite me.
That is a very immature response.
Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the Store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some.
The show received glowing reviews when it arrived in 1996 and ended up expanding to Universal Hollywood in 1999. Orlando does it better. And ultimately, Universal Japan as well. While other parks like Disneyland saw a 5% drop in attendance at the time, Universal Studios maintained steady, which they attributed to the ride. While it'll always bother me that Universal never has the balls to keep old rides and always seems to change. I mean, they've shuttered Jaws, Alfred Hitchcock, Earthquake, Twister, Confrontation, as Battle Across Time had taken the place of Fievel's Playground, American Tail Theater in 1997. This would eventually be replaced by Despicable Me, Minion Mayhem in Hollywood in 2012. At least in Orlando, it would be replaced by something similar, with a Jason Bourne stunt show titled The Bourne Stuntacular. And finally, the Japan ride shut down due to COVID-19 in 2020 and never reopened.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We can always hope that someday they remaster this and put it on some sort of physical media, as Back to the Future did, putting the ride on their Blu-ray set. But for now, YouTube is your best chance at seeing the ride if you never got to experience it or, like me, want to relive it again. But until then, that's it for now, my friends. As we remember the best sequel to Terminator 2, there was never a movie, but a theme park ride. T2-3D Battle Across Time.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.